as you go in.
Yeah.
So that you can actually commit to the sound and record the...
Yeah, I do that. Like, that's how I record.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I actually commit. Like, I try to get my artists to commit to it. And if you fuck up, just do it again.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way I do it, man.
Yeah.
Some engineers hate it because, like, oh, send me the raw file. I'm like, no, this is what you get. We got to work with it, man.
Yeah, that gives them more incentive to, like, come prepared and practice and get used to the feeling of, like you said, committing and, like, putting their best foot forward as opposed to like feeling like there's a safety net afterwards.
Exactly.
Like where you're going to come in.
I mean, like a lot of artists that I'm working with, they're on the come up, right? So I feel like, like just like you said, like they got to have that like characteristic, like putting their best foot forward and whatnot. But like a lot of them will try to mask the flaws after. Right? They're like, oh, let's just turn up the compression or more reverb or whatever. It's like, no, you just got to do it again. Yeah. If you're not happy with take, you just got to do it again, man.
Yes.
You're like, that's how you sound, man. Like, you just got to do it again, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like, getting used to hearing what you sound like is so important. And one thing I stress a lot with younger artists, newer people that I record with, is I ask them if they have a setup at home and like are you practicing before you come to see me? Like treat this like this is your performance.
Right.
Don't treat coming to 2-track like is practice.
Yeah.
You should be practicing at home. And
I agree.
Nailing your sound, nailing your tone.
Yeah.
Figuring out your breathing, everything, and just being like super confident and comfortable.
Yeah.
And knowing your sound. But a big part of that is actually being able to record yourself and hear yourself recorded.
Yeah.
So even if you've got like a little M audio USB interface and a fucking snowball mic, use that. But then listen back and get really comfortable with what, because singing in your bedroom is one thing, but singing into the mic and then hearing what that sounds like back. Will tell you a lot.
Oh yeah, I've definitely had some of those like in the shower type of singers, and then they step up to a studio. It's like, oh shit, this is like the Super Bowl kind of.
Yeah. Yes. It's a whole nother game, man.
Yeah, this isn't the washroom anymore.
Yeah, and then when you throw the EQs and compressors on, it really articulates all of the nuances and the flaws that might be there. So it's not always going to make it better. It's going to reveal more.
Yeah. That's the perfect word. And I've had this issue even with myself, man. I'm like, oh shit, that's what I sound like.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god, but it's my voice, man. I gotta live with it.
What kind of recording do you do?
No, just like every once in a while, like we have the studio in Burnaby where we're like hosting podcasts and stuff now with Kyle Bowen and whatnot. And anytime I sit down with him, we kind of just chat on the mic every now and then. And but like, or even sometimes when I hear myself like. Because at my studio, we record in the same room. I don't have my booth set up right now. So sometimes I hear myself at the end of the take. I'm like, Jesus, that's me. With auto-tune on and everything.
Yes. It's funny. It makes me think of like when I was a little kid and we had answering machines at my parents' house. And if you like called from grandma's house and left a message at home, and then you heard your voice on the answering machine, and you're like, whoa, that's what my voice sounds like, when you're like 8-9 years old or whatever. And it's a really weird feeling hearing your voice for the first time recorded.
Yeah, that's true, man.
So just trying to stress to young artists to I guess just practice more is what it comes down to. Prepare more, practice more, and don't rely so heavily on Max and Kultar to be there for you every time. Like, we want you to be, you should be the sound.
You should be the sound. Yeah. I always say like, whatever song you work on, make it your favorite song before you come to the studio.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's such good advice.
It should be your favorite song before you pull up,
You should feel like this is everything. This is like my baby. Like this is my single, like putting everything into this.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of doing 14 songs.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah, right. Trying to just crank out the hours here.
Yeah. Do that at home and practice. Like I said, God, man, before I even knew what compression was, I had a little white MacBook. Yeah. And like I said, an M audio interface and like an Audio Technica mic and we made hundreds of songs.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't put them all out though. A lot of them were just for me.
Just for you, yeah.
To understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Shout out to the M Audio, man. They started so many careers, like, right?
Yes.
And afterwards, it's like, oh, fuck this.
Incredible.
Let's just move on to the Apollos and everything.
Dude, that thing weighed like as much as a Solo cup. It was just like this empty plastic thing, and it just push a button and there's your phantom power.
Yeah.
Plug it in with a USB.
I forgot what mine was called. Fast Track or something?
Yeah.
Right? That's what they call it, right?
That's the one I had.
The blue and gray one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I was so excited. Actually, my mom bought me my first audio interface and my first microphone.
Mm-hmm.
She got me the Fast Track and like an Audio Technica AT 2020.
Yep.
And like, you know, I didn't understand compression and all that stuff back then. And I was like, this isn't loud enough. This isn't working properly. Yeah. I returned it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Bought another one and I was just like, oh, all right. Well, I guess
why doesn't my song sound as loud as Travis Scott? It's coming out of like Fruity Loops. Like,
well, back then, like, you know, we had to compare to like.
Yeah, who were you listening to back then? What era are we talking?
So this was like 2006, man. So
okay.
like,
yeah,
you know, Jay-Z was still in there, like heavy.
Yep.
Even T-Pain and stuff like that. That was like the Flow Rider. I think Lil Jon was still around too. Like, it was a weird time, man, in hip hop. It was like, I don't know, like, you know, like we're going to autotune, but we're not there yet. But
G-Unit was just coming off of like a big run, you know, with the Beg for Mercy, and then the Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Tony Yayo, 50 Cent's string of solo albums. I mean, they were literally massacring the game for the 2000s. Remember that? Like,
man, like they were a major reason of why I got into this. Like Dr. Dre especially.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Dre is like really like the sole purpose why I got into like music production. Dude, it's funny. Like, so one night, like me and my mom and my brother were gone out. I forgot where, whatever. We're just driving around and listening to the radio. And do you remember Addictive by Truth Hurts and Rakim?
No.
So Dr. Dre produced a song and he sampled like an old Hindi song, right? And my mom was like, something's wrong with the radio or something. Like I'm hearing this Hindi song and like this like rap, like what is this?
She thought it was two stations at once.
She was just like, what's going on? Because she used to listen to that Hindi song when she was growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a huge song, and I had no idea. I'm like, Mom, like this is how the song is, right?
Right.
And then she told me, she's like, no, this is the sample was from a woman named Lata Mangeshkar, and when I got home, I researched it, and I was like, how did they do that? Like, how did they take that song and like put it in here? And then that's when I learned what sampling was.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just because like my mom's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I listened to the song growing up. I'm like, what? The song just came out though.
Recycle. I mean, there's so many ways to put it, but like they recycled an old song that your mom liked, and now you like it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy, right?
And then I just looked into it and I was like, oh, what the hell?
This is a whole world.
Yeah, and around the same time, my older cousins are in high school, and they would do like parody music. Like they'll just make parody songs and stuff, and I was like, if these idiots can make a song, I can definitely make a song. So I went home, downloaded FL Studio in like grade like 6, right? And I didn't even remember what FL it was, and just got to work, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't start sounding good till like after I graduated high school, probably.
Yeah.
But I just stuck it out, man. But yeah, man, like G Unit and that whole era, like of Dr. Dre and producing and everything, like that was a huge deal for me. Like before I became like the engineer that I am today and mixing and almost engineering exclusively, I was an artist myself. That's how I got into all of this too. And like, I had my M Audio, like we just talked about, and doing the basement bedroom recordings with buddies and reusing mixtape beats and putting our own raps over them and stuff like that. And but yeah, like the whole Eminem G Unit era, that was hugely influential. They taught me about song structure. Oh yeah.
And I still use them as an example. I still do, like the whole like 3-verse, the hook, the intro, and then let the beat ride out at the end.
Let the beat ride out at the end. Yes, bro.
Because I see a lot of young artists coming in where like they've got great ideas, but it's not refined yet.
Yeah.
And I don't even, like, I genuinely don't know. I come from a place of positive intent and curiosity, and like maybe they literally do not know how to structure a song, but it's like, yeah, your hook should definitely be shorter than the verse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And make the song into parts. And
yeah.
I mean, that all comes from Dre. Like, he was the mastermind of producing and being the mastermind behind all of those, and you know, teaching Eminem everything he knows. Like, Eminem is credited as a mix engineer on a lot of that G-Unit stuff. I don't know if people realize that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really, really cool stuff, and just studying that and using that as like a template, really.
Yeah, and like the mixes and everything still hold up today.
Oh God, yeah, they're my favorite stuff. That's the stuff I try and emulate. I'm not going for the modern. That's part of the reason I think that I'm so addicted to analog lately. It's like those mixes, man, from the 2000s.
Yeah, like, you know, they ain't relying on the box stuff.
So creamy and thick and just punchy.
Yeah,
nothing's harsh or abrasive.
Yeah,
the drums are like just literally coming out of the speakers, hitting you in the chest, and the vocals have depth, and it's just, oh my God.
It's kind of weird because, like, I think now more than ever, like, we have songs where, like, we'll have like a sub bass with like no kick. So it's like some songs are just pure bass, but even then, like, the songs from back then will crush like songs today. You know?
Yeah, they do. Like, I think there's a big part of that is that back then there was still the culture of the audio engineer.
Yeah.
A lot of those albums, not that albums nowadays don't have big budgets, because they do, but back then, I think, 50 wasn't mixing his own stuff or making his own beats.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays you get a lot of like, someone might team up with a person, and then that person does everything and the mastering.
And the mastering, yeah.
Where back then it was like, no,
yeah.
Someone's recording this.
Yeah.
Pat Viala's gonna mix it.
Yeah.
We're gonna send it to Brian Big Bass Gardner for the master. And there's step by step, like all the way from start to finish, and then you end up with this product that's on par with big rock albums as far as like how sonically good it is.
Sonically good.
Because they're not skipping any steps. And everybody who's the best at what they do gets to leave their mark on that.
Yeah. We don't. I don't think we do that much these days anymore.
I mean, you've got guys like Mike Dean now doing a lot of the Travis Scott stuff.
Yeah.
Who is a beat maker, records, mixes, and masters. I mean, he did. I think it was some of the either the Cruel Summer stuff or Watch the Throne stuff, where he like mixed and mastered and made the beat. Like, he did everything.
He did it. Yeah. I was just I brought that album up the other day. Watch the Throne. There's a song on there, "Why I Love You." And that sounds just like a song he did like the other month on the Jack Boys project. Soak it in next time you get a chance. Listen to "Why I Love You," and then listen to "What to Do."
Okay.
This guy has been rocking the same sound for so long, and like it just went up like over our heads, dude. He's still rocking like "Watch the Throne," synths, sounds, and even just structure, man. It's crazy, but I love that guy, man. I love his work, dude. Like, I just love how he's not scared to like, push the faders up a little bit,
He's a rule breaker.
Yeah, rule breaker.
Like, I watched him on Pensado's Place. Talking about like, he just seems like he truly does not give a fuck. He's got that like such a, like, I've been doing this so long. I know. I've tried everything to the point where I can now break the rules because I understand it so deeply. Where like, you listen to some of the new Travis Scott stuff and it doesn't even make sense. It's wrong. It's actually wrong.
It's actually wrong. Yeah. But it sounds so good.
It sounds so good. Like, the vocal shouldn't be 6 dB above the whole beat.
Right.
It's bigger than the whole thing. You listen to it in headphones and turn it up, and then everything disappears. You just hear the vocal, and because it's just so saturated and humongous.
Yeah.
But that's the sound, and that's why, like, Now everyone's trying to copy that.
Yeah, it gets me into trouble sometimes. Like, you know, sometimes I try to crank it in, and then our client will just be like, "Oh, the vocals are too loud." I'm like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like this.
Yeah, listen to the stuff on the radio.
Yeah.
We're trying to compete with that.
Yeah. Right.
It's not our fault.
Oh man.
Are you? So I've been listening to quite a bit of your stuff lately and studying it, and particularly the stuff you did with Jamon on the Chaos Theory project, because you produced a handful of those beats.
Yeah.
Now, are you? How involved are you in those? Are you recording, producing, and mixing? Are you like? Talk to me about that and your relationship with him and how you guys work together.
I love Jamon. Jamon is...
Shout out to Jamon.
Yeah, shout out Jamon, man. We, like, the moment we met, like, I felt like we instantly connected, or like instantly became brothers, right?
Awesome.
And that's why, like, it was so easy to work. Like, most of those songs were done like that one session.
Wow.
Yeah. I believe all, like, because I produced the last 3 records. I'm pretty sure we got all those done within our first session.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Splice for helping me out with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So with Jamon, well, not just with Jamon, but like with a lot of the clients, like what I do is like when I'm producing a beat, I have like a mic like this running live with like auto-tune and stuff like that. So he was sitting right beside me and just like freestyling while I'm cooking up, and man, we just hit it off. Like, we're like, this is the song. This is the one.
Yeah.
You know, we got that production done, recorded to it right away. Right. I did a little bit of mixing on it, but I think most of the album eventually ended up going to Jamie to finish it up and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, with Jamon and a lot of my clients, like, I'll be involved almost to the end. Right?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not, I don't really, it's been a long time since I've done the whole email a beat and hope for the best kind of thing. It's like, come to my studio, we're gonna make a beat, and you're gonna leave with a song.
Sure.
Like, that's how I roll.
Yeah, that's funny how you said that. It's because that's literally what it is. It's just email it and hope for the best. Like, some dude in Poland will just rap on it, or who knows, like, and it may be whack, it might be great, but you're literally fishing when you're throwing beats out there. Like, and you don't know what you're gonna get.
Like, I've been in the studio with artists, and like, we're listening to beat packs, and they pick out this one little thing that they don't like, and it sucks because that producer could have had a placement if that one little thing got changed, right? And like,
yeah,
for some reason, they don't communicate with each other, so it's like we can iron out those kind of flaws when we're actually producing together. If you don't like this, we'll take it out,
right?
You know, so there's that kind of like thing too. Like, you know, when you just send a beat pack, sometimes the artist doesn't understand that you're willing to make some changes and be flexible with it. But, you know, they'll just take it as what it is and be like, oh, no, I'm not going to use that beat. You know?
So the recording is done. You've got like a scratch mic in the booth. But then, like, did you track a lot of those vocals for Jamon on that project?
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
I tracked all the ones I produced.
Yeah.
Off that, I think the only record on there that I didn't produce, but I tracked that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about your vocal chain and the mic you're using and stuff like that.
So the mic I'm using shocks a lot of people. I'm still using the Audio Technica.
The 2020?
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm kind of curious. I wanna grab it and just see what I could kind of do with it. But I use a 4033.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, when I got it, I hated it. And then when I got the Apollo, I loved it. Right.
The mic pre made a difference, or just the chain afterwards? Just, or maybe you can tell me here.
Yeah. So I use a 610 as my mic pre. I'll get the levels like pretty hot on there actually, and you know, the 610 has like a little equalizer on there too. So I'll do a little bass cut like all the way. Right. It's kind of weird though, because like a lot of the bass is still there, and I like what remains there. And I'll boost the high end a little on there as well. And then the next thing in my chain is auto-tune.
Yeah. Right.
And then, you know, after that, I go into the Pultec, the Pro Legacy. And I love that. I love that EQ, man. I like
tubey sounding.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. It just sounds so colorful.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice because like for the longest time I was using graphic equalizers. Right. I was kind of looking to mix, but now I just kind of listen.
Yeah.
Like I just twist a bunch of knobs. When I got the Pultec, I didn't even bother reading the manual. I kind of just wanted to flip around with knobs. I wanted to see what I could, you know? And like, I got this sound coming out of it, and I was like, I love this.
That's great.
This is what I've been looking for my entire life. Like, I always thought I have to kind of like get the newest and the latest plugins and stuff to get that sound, but really all it was, man, it was just to go back in time and like, you know, mess with those plugins that are from like the 70s and
the classics, the stuff that's worked for decades.
Yeah. So after the Pultec, I have the 1176. I mess around with both the one with the black face and the one with the
beige face.
Yeah. I believe it's SE.
Yeah, the
something
SE.
like that. Yeah. And then after that, I kill it with the LA2A.
Yeah.
And it just like makes everything like so perfect.
It smooths it out quite a bit. Hey, that opto compression.
Yeah, and like sometimes depending on who I'm working with, I'll run everything like super hot. Like just I don't even care if I'm in the reds. Just like let's just do it. It sounds crazy, you know. But for the most part, I'll take it back. Like
so, all of that is being tracked and committed to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then printed into Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that's brave. That's very brave.
Yeah. Actually, I was chatting with Sullivan from Manila Grey. We're in the club one night, and obviously, like, you know, when you run to artists, you start talking about mixes and shit like that.
Yeah.
So we're just in the middle of a club talking about mixing, and he's like, "So, like, what do you do? Like, what do you work with?" And I told him exactly what I told you, and he's like, "You're ballsy, dude."
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just how I like it, man. And like the artist likes it, and if there's anything wrong, you know, we'll just re-record it, right?
Yeah.
And but the important thing is to just get like I'll sit with them for a while. We'll kind of mess around with the levels a little bit and EQ. And the moment they go like, "This is it," then we'll start recording. You know?
That's beautiful. That's like an art form.
Yeah.
The art of recording, and that's one of the things that for years and years I skipped over, or I just not skipped over, but I couldn't wait to get to the mixing.
Right.
So I just, you know, tracked too quickly and didn't fuss about getting the tone right.
Right.
Didn't fuss about mic placement and, you know, an inch here or there, up and down.
Yeah.
Is my mic pre too hot?
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah,
and it matters so much.
Yeah,
Like the recording is 90% of the sound. If you can get a dope mix or a dope sounding recording, that almost mixes itself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to quote unquote fix it much. You just put it in the beat and you're kind of good.
You know? Yeah. Well, like all of our recording sessions turn into like jam sessions.
Yeah.
You know, like like J-Mon, for example, like, you know, we made that beat together and he was freestyling beside me the whole time. Sorry. And like when it came time to recording, he was already rehearsing it so much that when it came time to recording, it was like 1 or 2 takes type of thing, right? And he just laid it out, and all of a sudden we have the song done.
Yeah.
And I just had to make minor adjustments with level and whatnot, but I wasn't sure at that point if, you know, I was gonna be the one completely mixing it, so I kind of like left the open end on it.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, like the song was ready to go.
Yeah.
The consumer ears, it was ready to go.
Sure. Sure.
You know, but obviously we gotta do a little like, you know, finishing touches and whatnot. But yeah, man, for the most part, I just commit, bro.
Yeah.
Just commit. Even when I'm making beats, man, like the kick sounds good, fuck it, let's rock with it, right? Like snare sounds good, let's go.
Yeah.
Right?
So obviously you're not using Pro Tools to produce. What have you got?
Yeah, I use FL Studio for production.
Yeah.
Hate it for recording.
Yeah.
I can't
I've never
stand
used it at all.
Oh,
Period.
really?
Period.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've been kind of like thinking lately, like, you know, what else is out there? You know, I'm kind of messing around with Studio One right now.
Okay.
Actually, that night when me and J-Mon first linked up, my Pro Tools was down for some reason.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, super weird. And luckily I had a copy of Studio One, so I had to like quickly learn it. And I tracked all that stuff on Studio One.
Quickly learn it.
Yeah. Right? Well, I mean, it kind of helped that like I had that committed vocal tracks, so I didn't have to mess around with their plugins too much. I kind of just like, you know, I did a little bit of routing and whatnot with the reverb and the delays and whatever, but man, I just opened it up, recorded all that stuff. And right before he left, for some reason, my Pro Tools started working again.
Of course.
And the session was over, but I was like, get back here, man. We're gonna like we ended up recording off that.
Wow.
Yeah. Like off that almost didn't happen, man. Just like he was on his way out. And I was like, oh, Pro Tools is up and running, and like, you know, we can get this record done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because you've already done it so many times
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
Wow. So FL is like I said, I don't know it. I hear about it nonstop. It's kind of like the standard right now. All the big producers are using it, but you use that in conjunction with Splice, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And then are you all like you have some like a musical background where you're actually playing some keys and bass lines and things like that, or is it all samples?
So I don't have too heavy of a musical background, but yeah, no, I do play keys as well.
Yeah.
Right. Splice really helps, especially like when you're linking up with an artist for the first time, because you kind of get to like test them almost. Like you flip through loops and be like, oh, this is what they like, you know?
Sure.
And you like, you know, when the beat's done, you just get a better understanding of like what they kind of mess with and whatnot. Yeah. And then yeah, it's like, you know, I get closer and closer with like with an artist and really know what they like. I can start playing keys, like, you know, or start making more original beats for them. Whatnot. I'm not too crazy with the keys yet. But like, you know, I'm learning. Right?
Yeah.
Azal has been helping a lot with that. Like he's crazy on the keys.
Oh, is that right?
Anytime I see him play keys, I'm just like, holy shit! Like I gotta get my shit together.
Yeah.
He's just crazy, man. So like, but these loops and like Splice has been helping me a lot. Like just knowing like, okay, this is the key scale and this is what I gotta play within and whatnot. Sure. It's helped out like a lot. And sometimes I'll even pull that sample right out. And then I'll just like whatever I played on top will just remain there. Right? So it's kind of like like a little coach for me.
Yeah, that's super helpful. So obviously it's giving you like the key. Like is there a BPM that's stamped on the sample as well, or will it tell you the like when you're downloading it, like what information do you get about the sample?
So yeah, you'll get the BPM and also the key scale that it's in.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Splice is like sometimes you'll find like a loop that's like almost like fully done, like there's a bass line in it and whatever and everything, but like they'll have the stems for that as well, so you can kind of pick apart like, hey, I like the bass line in that, or
really?
I like the piano or even the drums in that, and you can kind of take that in and what I'll do is like I'll like pitch it up and down, I'll mess with it, maybe play it in reverse or just like really chop it up and whatnot. There's been a few samples like, nah, just as is, put it in, put the drums in, and we're ready to rock.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, because the producer might have already had their own compression or saturation going on, and you don't want to just automatically add shit to it because you think you should. Like, that's another big, you know, mistake I think I was making for years, was like just throwing plugins on everything.
Yeah.
Instead of just, now when I get a mix, I do a fader mix.
Yeah.
And then do I need a compressor on this? You know, but I get the sound just with the volume and a gain plugins.
Yeah, because like even with me, like a lot of like, you know, the sample packs that I have, like, you know, they've already been processed.
Yeah.
Some of them are already pulled out from like actual songs. So yeah, like with my 808s and stuff and my kicks, like I don't really even put anything on them.
Kind of let them breathe a little bit.
Just let them do the thing, man. They're you know, just turn it up.
So one thing I noticed about a handful of the songs you produced was the way that the ad libs are mixed, and I'm hoping this is something you are doing so that I can ask you, and maybe it was Jamie, but there's like, especially in Off That, the ad libs have got like this real modulation chorusy kind of thing going on. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, are you able to like tell me anything about that?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open source, man.
Beautiful. Yeah, because I love it, and I heard it in a few of them. I'm like, oh, that Kultar also produced this, so like that's kind of a sound I was hearing in a few of your productions. So
well, like J-Mon is really good at, like, he's really comfortable on the mic, you know, so he'll try a bunch of shit, and that help, like, you know, and like most of it we can't use, right? Yeah. But like it all sounds great, but I just love that, like, I get this like 4 or 5 minute take of just like all these crazy, like, you know, pitches and like, you know, whatever, and like, so I'll get to try a bunch of effects on and really get to hear like what, you know, what we can do with it, right? But all that was just a flanger.
That's like what it sounded like.
The stock Pro Tools
no shit
air flanger. Yeah.
Okay.
And I used a wide stereo preset.
Yeah.
right? And what I do is I'll turn down the ad-libs, but then I'll turn up the reverb on them, like a lot.
Yeah.
And they'll just kind of be there in the back, just like here and there. But like when you hear them, like they have like this like cool, like
It's very washy.
yeah,
Like it's there, but it's like really blended well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then it has that flangey thing going on.
yeah.
So.
And like sometimes I'll do that with like my samples too. Like I'll add a flanger to them.
No
It
way.
just kind of gives this like cool like, you know, wide like sound,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, it's I really fuck with it. And yeah, so it kind of just meshes together, man. And yeah, and a voice like Jamon's, like it just really shines, man. Really
It
shines.
works so well on him, because he does do a lot of that. He's super melodic, right? With his shit.
Yeah.
And then if you get, you know, the lead and then the ad lib, but then flange the shit out of it too, then we're having a party, man. Like so.
He's just so crazy. We've made songs out of like his ad libs, like going back to what I was saying, like, oh, most of it we can't use, right? I'll kind of listen to him again, be like, dude, we should do a song with this, and like, you know, I'll find the key for that, and then like all of a sudden we're on a brand new song, and like it just got inspired because he was messing around, right?
Yeah, unreal.
He's unreal, man.
He's one of those rare artists that can do that. You know, that too many artists think they can do that and they try, but they fail at it. He's just overflowing with creativity and ideas.
Yeah.
And he can come in and do a song in a session or two songs in a session and like freestyle it and then refine it there on the spot. And that's a really, really like that, you know, I've been doing this 16 years now, and like I've seen all walks of talent and artists and everything in between, and like talent is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Hard work is also a real thing. But there are just some people that get it, man. It just clicks. It's like some people just do math.
Yeah.
I had to take grade 10 math 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
But I happen to be good at this shit. So it's just like, but yeah, no. So yeah, incredible. What a joy it is working with someone like that, right?
Yeah. I love working with that guy, man.
So when you do get a chance to mix for someone, what are some of your approaches towards that, as far as like plugins that you tend to lean towards more often than not? How you like to gain stage things? Are you throwing a ton of shit on your mix bus? These are all like real nerd questions I've been dying to ask you. So,
so I keep it pretty simple. Gain staging is like the biggest deal for me.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, once you get that set up right, like the rest of the session becomes so much easier, right? And if I'm mixing like a beat of mine that I've produced, right, then the job becomes even a lot easier. And I'm mainly working on like mixing the vocals and just blending it in a bit more. But like I said, like before, because I committed on my chains so much, basically I'll slap on like the neutron and kind of play around with it, just see like, you know, do I need to trim a bit of the high end a bit more, because the Pultar can add like a crazy amount of shine to some of the songs. And sometimes you get artifacts that, you know, you don't need, especially in between words. Like I'll get a lot of like the whole, like, you know, you can hear the artist like lick their lips like super loud.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, I just do a lot of cleaning up, and
as opposed to, sorry to cut you off, but as opposed to just hucking a noise gate on there, you're actually going in and chopping the breaths and the spots in between and putting fades and things like that.
In fades,
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. You can't send the machine to do a man job.
No, I do that shit. I actually like weirdly enjoy doing that. It's kind of like a meditation. I go through the vocal and clean it up. And yeah.
Well, it helps because like the noise gate, like I'm always fighting the noise gates. Like I don't know, like, you know, sometimes they like ends too abruptly or opens up weirdly, and I'm just like, fuck this, man.
And by the time you've corrected your attack, release, the hold, the look ahead, and all that shit, you could have just fucking trimmed it.
Yeah.
You cut it yourself. You know, so
exactly. So, but yeah, majority of the time I'm just playing with like the reverb and the delays at that point, just because like you know, we already committed to the vocals so much.
You got a good sound to start with.
Good sound to start with, and right now I'm really falling in love with the Manny M reverb from Waves.
I discovered that one recently as well.
Yeah,
the purple one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like you're the one that actually put it on my radar because I was using the stock plugin of stock reverb.
Just the Deverb?
No, the Air.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
The Air from the Air bundle. Yeah, I don't have those because they're not included. You have to like separately get them from the Avid website or some shit.
Yeah. The Air bundle. Well, like it was. It used to come with them, I believe.
I think
they
so
kinda
in the
stopped,
older
like-
versions. Yeah.
Yeah. I started on 10.
Okay.
So I fell in love with them from the get go, and then when I moved on to 12, I realized I didn't have them. So I think I had to do something crazy to get them back. I forgot what, but yeah, I fell in love with like the stock plugins so much that like I was relying on them for the longest time. I've had the Waves like for the longest time as well, but for me, it's like if it's not broken, like don't try to fix it, right? But yeah, when I saw your post about it, you did put a post about it, right?
I know I've used it on a few mixes. I can't remember if I posted about it.
Yeah. Someone posted about it because I remember seeing it visually like on IG. And I was like, oh, like how come I haven't like dove into that? So anyways, I popped it up and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it has a compressor on there, like just all this shit, and just I was like, okay, let's pop this on, and I've been using it on like almost all my mixes as of like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's like really kind of new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really new. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because like I've had it for so long. The only other reverbs I really messed with was that Valhalla reverbs. You know,
The vintage verb or like the simpler one because they make two ones.
I believe this is blue. That's vintage.
It's the one that comes. It's like purple. Well, when you upload the stock preset, it's purple and teal.
Okay.
But then it has three colors. It's got like the 70s, which is orange and brown, and then the modern, which is like gray. So it gives you like the three colors.
Yeah. I've used so I guess
Valhalla.
it's the 7.
Yeah, I use the Valhalla a lot though too.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah, so for my reverbs, that's what I mess with, and like for the delays, the H delay is my go-to.
Yeah, the Waves H delay.
Yeah.
It is Waves, right? It's the orange one.
Yeah, the orange one. Yeah.
I stopped using that for some reason since I got the Steven Slate bundle, so I can't remember if it was Waves or not. But I used to fuck with Wave H delay all the time.
Yeah.
Love that, and it's got the analog button.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I need to really upgrade my plugins. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to see what's out there. You know, like this whole like Manny M plugin. When I opened that up, I was kind of like, why didn't I use this before? Or maybe I just wasn't ready for it. I don't know.
Plugins,
even though it's just a reverb, whatever. But like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I had it for so long. When I opened it up, I was like, geez, I should probably like sit down one day and just kind of flip through all this shit again and just kind of like
see what's out there.
Make a little library of like, you know, the shit that I fuck with, right? But yeah, man, just on the mixing end, sorry for disappointing you, but like I keep it pretty like simple just because like for the most part I'm mixing my own stuff, like my own productions, but every now and then I'll get a mix for you know, another producer's work or whatever, and like the Neutron stuff is really helping me out.
Is that Isotope?
Yeah. I really mess around with the Neutron. I like how it talks to each other when it's on like different channels and whatnot. It really helps me with my side chaining.
Okay.
When I work with kicks and 808s, you know, it has like this like masking feature.
Oh, tell me more.
So like basically I'll put the Neutron on my kick, and I'll also put it on my sub bass.
Yep.
Right. Now I'll open up my sub bass channel, right, and I'll open up the plugin, and there's this feature called masking. You can like open up like this like drop down menu, and it'll tell you what other channels has a Neutron plugin on it. So I'll open up the kick channel while I'm in the sub bass channel, right, and it'll show me what frequencies are clashing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I'll start ducking my like sub bass down where it's clashing and whatnot. And it just works, dude.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it, but I was just like, what the fuck?
It's really
This is
making
like
a pocket
voodoo
for the kick.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird how it works. You usually got to fight with it, but it's just, and it just does it so gracefully and it looks so beautiful at the same time. I think that's a big part about mixing, man. Like having like things look nice. Like it's
true.
weird. It's weird,
true.
man. Like it's so fluid. And I'm like, oh, that like looks so nice. And it just starts to sound nice. And I'm like, this is it, dude. Like we're good.
That's funny, man, because we do spend a shitload of time looking at our screens.
Yeah.
Like, do you want the air verb or do you want the Valhalla verb, which is like this big thing? It's like at the end of the day, we're working with sound, but you still want some like, you know, some visual stimulation, like make something look pretty. Like I think Steven Slate's plugins are the best for that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I use primarily. He's got this thing called the Everything Bundle.
Okay.
So it's every plugin that the company makes. It's $149 a year.
Oh,
it's a subscription.
Yeah, they have a monthly too. It's like $15 a month or something like that, right?
They've also got a monthly, but either way, it's like that's a joke how cheap that is. Because you've got like everything, everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
Mastering stuff, tape emulation, delays, like you know, emulations of all the best compressors and EQs, and I mean it's insane. So if you're looking for more stuff, consider that. You could probably even do like a trial, but this is not a sponsor, but I love that shit and can't say enough about it. Enough good stuff about it.
Do you have any other Slate products? Like I think they make a modeling microphone or something like that, right?
We use that downstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the VMS1.
The VMS1, yeah.
So that's the main vocal mic in Studio A. And so yeah, it's just this big dynamic mic that's supposed to be like as clean as possible, and the mic pre's as clean as possible, but then you use the microphone emulations to get your sound.
Right.
And the one that that we use, I think almost exclusively, is the Sony 800 emulation. That's like that $10,000. You know,
the Sony 800G.
Everybody
right?
uses everybody right now is using that mic.
How's the emulation on that?
It's really something. It's like you bypass it and then you turn it on and it's like, dude, it boosts the low without sounding muddy. It gives you like a silky top. It gives the mic like depth just from like turning on this emulation. You're getting like EQ and saturation, but like perfectly balanced. It's really crazy.
That's crazy. They made a cheaper version of it now.
Did they really?
Yeah, I think it's called the C100.
Oh damn! Yeah, I know they make other mics, but okay.
I believe it's fairly new. It's like $1,200, and it looks exactly the same, but it doesn't have that big heat sink in the back.
Oh, you're talking about Sony.
Yeah. Sorry, the Sony,
not Slate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, because that big heat sink is really what gives that mic away and what makes it stand out from the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, so they made a more affordable version of that mic.
Yeah. I believe it's the 100. Yeah, the C100.
So and it's a tenth of the cost of the other one.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is good for business. I don't know. Someone over there thought it was a good idea.
Okay.
So, but I'm curious, man, to see what it's like.
Yeah, man.
When did do you know when they stopped making though? Do this like still produce the C800?
You can get it on Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Which is where I look for all my stuff.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I know it's like not like a newer. It's on the newer side if you compare it to like old Neumann mics and things like that. But it's. I think they've been using it since the 90s. Yeah. I was reading an article on Sound on Sound, and that is the mic that they recorded the last few Eminem albums with.
Oh, wow.
They interviewed Mike Strange, who's his engineer, and his vocal chain was the Sony into the Avalon 737, which is like my dream vocal chain. Like I've wanted an Avalon since before school, but they're like $5,000.
They're $5,000?
Yeah, they're like, you know, with tax and shit, I think it'd be about $5,000, you know. Like,
holy shit.
They make, you know, that's the one that's got the compressor and the EQ.
Right.
You know, and if you look at like the testimonials, it's like Dre's used it, Madonna's used it, like everybody. Like that's like the most famous mic pre in the game.
They're really fun. I've got a chance to use one.
Oh wow!
Like they're really fun, man.
Yeah, they had one in Nimbus. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was that one, but the like that tube sounds like nothing else. It's just it just makes it big and bright and beautiful.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that new Sony mic. Not that I'm on the market for a new mic right now, because you know. We've got downstairs is great. We've got a couple SM7s here.
Yeah.
And then I'm rocking the TLM 103 in the booth.
Nice.
And depending on the person, I'll take the foam off, because it's a really bright mic.
Yeah.
It depends on the style, but just to control a little bit. And then running that into the distressor, which has like totally changed my life since I got it. Compressing on the way in, obviously committing with that because it's analog, right?
Yeah.
But I've noticed that since I started tracking with analog, with the distressor, I've cut the amount of plugins that I use like in half.
Right.
Like if not more.
Yeah.
I used to have like the OTT and the saturation, and like it was a lot. Like the vocal chain was huge. Denton and I have built this thing for last 4 years. He had a great vocal chain when I met him, and then the last 4 years we've been like building it, and hey, let's check this out. Let's try this multi-band on it. Let's try this on it. And now it's like, it got to the point where it was like both slots were full in Pro Tools. Like, it was like this huge chain, right? And
it's like sending it to a bus that's on a bus
yeah, and it was great, like to track with, because the artist in their headphones is getting this like ridiculous sound where like, you were talking about artists licking their lips earlier. You can hear everything with that vocal chain. It's just so that gives the artist more confidence, I think, a little bit, because they already sound fucking great.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was getting me into a lot of problems down the road, because I was not hearing a lot of things I should have been hearing, because I was being fooled by the vocal chain.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was way too much shit on it.
Yeah.
And it just sounded, great, compressed and crispy. And I was like, great, let's rock with this track. And then when it was time to mix, and I hearing it, I was like, oh man, there's all these problems, and I was fighting against it for just EQing the shit out of stuff and surgical 12 dB boosts of 3K to get rid of resonances and all this stuff that I wasn't hearing. So now it's like when I track, it goes through the distressor. There's nothing on the vocal chain in Pro Tools, because I'm really getting more and more obsessed with the sound, like you are, with committing to
it to it. Yeah.
So I don't have to mess with it later on. I don't want to fix. I want to mix.
Yeah, and like our computers love that too, right?
Yes.
They're stressed a lot less.
No more having to like change the
buffer,
playback engine and the buffer. I think there's a bit of a delay in the headphones.
No.
Maybe because I have every plugin ever made on your vocal chain right now. So now it's just clean. And I swear to God, like the sound I'm hearing just coming through that distressor into the headphones to me it sounds like, I close my eyes and like, that vocal is sitting in the record right now already, you know, and then print that. Next day I come in and record it, and it's like a little bit of EQ, cut out some like 400, throw an 1176 on it, and we're like, and then reverb to taste. And that's it. And it's like, wow, now I get to focus on automation,
all the other fun stuff,
dynamics, and all the fun stuff that gives the mix emotion and a character, and not having to spend 8 hours just pulling my hair out fixing because I'm fighting against the vocal chain. So if anyone's listening and you're starting out or new to recording, try experimenting with less vocals, less stuff on the vocal chain. And really hear what you're getting. Obsess more with the sound going into the computer, I would say.
Yeah.
And, you know, commit to that, and don't feel like adding more shit on it is going to make it better.
Better, yeah.
Because I have half the amount of shit now, and it sounds way better.
Way better. I know.
Because I'm picking the right things. It's
Right,
like, it's like cooking. It's like, I like barbecue sauce, and I like, you know, ketchup, and I like sour
Mustard.
cream. I like all these things, but I'm not going to put them all in a bowl at once.
Dude, that's the best.
All my favorite
way
sauces. I'm not going to mix it with ice cream.
That's too much sauce.
Too much sauce. Pick the right ones for the right scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man.
Because it's all about taste at the end of the day. This music is like, you know, it's taste, it's colors, it's flavors.
It's flavors, yeah.
We get to be the chef and make those, you know, that's why people trust us. 'Cause we hopefully have a good taste. And they want to keep coming to our restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, no, it's like life is so much easier with less plugins, man.
Yeah. There's a place for them. I'm not like by any means saying don't use plugins. I love them.
Yeah.
I'm still like 90% of my mixes in the box. But
yeah.
It's about picking the right ones and maybe making like one or two plugins work harder.
Right. Yeah.
And really using it for a purpose.
Obviously, you got those like some mixes where it's like, you know, you need to do something like Travis Scottish or something, you know. So it's like, yeah, sure, throw in the plugins then or whatever, right? But I think for like a good bass like recording, like try to use less plugins as possible, you know, and like you'll get that sound you want.
Yeah,
you know?
leave lots of headroom.
Yeah, lots of headroom is
lots.
Like super. Like the moment I import a beat, even if it's my own, man, like I'll turn it down like 6-7 dB.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll compensate by just turning up the volume. You know,
Totally.
Everything, like all the volumes turned up. It'll sound super lit, right? But like the actual recording is like low, you know?
Yeah.
That was one thing I overlooked.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like,
because then you got no room, you got nowhere to go if if everything's already at zero.
You turn up 1 dB, and shit's like just fucked. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. So there's like, there's nothing wrong with turning everything way down, because as soon as you start adding effects and compression and stuff, that's boosting it. Right?
Yeah.
And then you can make it louder with the limiter, you know, in stages. So important. Yeah, some of the stuff that I get like to mix from producers, even their stems are coming to me really, really hot, and I have to turn the like the beat on YouTube or wherever, you know, because they're already throwing like a limiter on it so that it's like knocking when the artist plays it, and it sounds competitive, it sounds loud, but still I'm still getting a lot of stems that are like, sounds like all the stems are going through the limiter still, so they're tracked out separately, but they're still really fucking
crazy.
Loud. And I'm turning like the 808 down like 14 dB, like, because it's just it's just all the way up, right? And that's eating up most of the headroom on the mix bus, right? So I'm just turning shit down like crazy, and then getting a good volume balance with just the faders, or some, even lately I haven't even been using faders as much, just like trim or gain plugins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In and out of the plugins, gain staging between the plugins, it just leaving lots of space. So important, man. Like, it just gives you a bigger space to work with, right?
I can't stress that enough. Like gain staging and like leaving headroom, you got to do it.
Yeah,
just, you know, break every rule except that one. You know, just don't, like, you know, give yourself headroom. You'll be happy later.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my God. Yeah. What about, so when you're mixing, are you let's say it's stems from one of your beats, then you've got the vocals in there. Do all of your drums go to a drum bus and get processed together, and then like synths and keys go to one bus, or are you just routing everything to the mix bus?
So yeah, I will. I do separate, like, I'll separate drums and like melody, kind of, right? Okay. And my melody mix bus might have like sub mixes in there.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, depending on like the sounds that are in there. But for the most part, it's just melody and drums, and then they'll go into like, you know, the beat mix bus, and that will go in like, you know, the all mix bus. Over
Yes.
there.
And are you doing like stages of compression, stages of saturation for those, or how are you doing
here
that?
and there. I work on like all my beats sound different. Like, you know, there's a lot of beats that I have that aren't like the typical 808 snare or whatever. And like I like messing around with like drum compression on like the stuff that's not like auto-tuning and whatnot. Like, you know, like I do a lot of work with Priya.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just gonna bring her up. That's funny.
Yeah. And like, you know, that's when I really get to mess around with like drum compression, because we'll like use like live drums and
cool.
Not, I won't actually play the drums, but I mean like stuff that sounds like it's played live, right?
Yes.
And that's when like drum compression is really fun.
Yes.
It's not like, I don't really find it too fun on like, you know, the digital kicks or snares and
sampled
whatnot.
stuff doesn't benefit a ton from drum compression, I find.
Yeah.
But when you get a live drum kit and you smack a nice big compressor on that, and that brings the snare up and the room sound and the hi-hats and everything start to gel together, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. Then it's fun. Yeah.
Then it's fun.
Yeah, here and there. Like, you know, every mix is different, but yeah. Drum compression I'll use on stuff that's like Lana Del Rey-ish music that I'm working on.
Nice. Yeah. And then
that might actually come as a surprise to maybe some people that listen to music like that. Like I feel like
not at all.
I feel like I don't know, people think that I'm just like hip hop, but like 90% of my time I'm like I'm not even listening to hip hop really.
I listen to everything but hip hop, honestly. Like, I swear to God, like the majority of the stuff that I record for people is not what I listen to in my spare time, which is ironic as fuck. So I'm having to do a ton of homework.
Oh, really?
You know? And keeping relevant on what's happening. I try super hard to be cultured and well-rounded and listen to lots of stuff and listen to stuff in different languages. Go back and do my homework and listen to stuff from the 70s and the 80s and just to hear where shit's come from and where we're at now. And so you should be listening to other stuff. That's great.
Yeah. You never know who's gonna walk through that door, man. You know,
never know.
Never know. So gotta be ready.
No, man, because like I'm doing like, you know, 90% heavy auto tune trap stuff with big distorted 808s.
Yeah.
And someone's at the door. Should we get that? Wonder who else is here.
Yeah, we can get that.
We got to get a doorbell. If they knock one more time, I'll go get it.
Okay. No worries.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, but then I've been working with a guy who's like totally singer-songwriter, like John Mayer type. And I produced a whole EP with him, and we tracked like acoustic guitar.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Plugged the DI bass right into the front of the Apollo. You know what I mean? And like played some keys on the MIDI, and it's like so different. Like couldn't be more different than what I'm doing with guys like Juju and Jamon and Jax and stuff like that. And it was so fun.
So much fun,
loved it. Not to say that like I don't like the other stuff, but it was such a great refresher, a breath of fresh air, trying new techniques. And I'm never gonna fuck with an acoustic guitar on a trap beat.
Right. Yeah.
You know, there might be like sampley stuff that sounds acoustic, or like a synth or something, but an actual fucking guitar.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of mistakes, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't get a lot of practice doing that stuff.
Yeah. Just recently, actually, I tracked an artist with an acoustic guitar. And I was like, shit, I gotta put the Audio Technica to this thing. It's like, shit, I need to get more microphones, man. But no, it went well, man. Like, I love the Apollo for that. Just ran it straight through the Apollo. I think all I did was just throw like a LA2A on it, just give it a nice boost, and it sounded amazing.
Great.
We just recorded a few guitar riffs and whatnot, and actually after this podcast, we're gonna go lay down the vocals for it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I'll send you that when we're done. But yeah, it's fun doing that kind of stuff, man. Like kind of just stepping away from the whole, even FL and whatnot, and just like letting the mics do the work, man. Recording what's actually there.
Yes.
You know, like
really,
like what's actually tangible. Like, you know, like the person really held a guitar and played it. You know? And then they fucking sang on it. Like
that's really where like the art of recording comes in, because that like mic choice, mic placement.
Yeah.
Are we going to do a stereo pair? Where am I going to place the mic on the fretboard? All this stuff.
Are we like amping up a cabinet or something? Like all that shit. Yeah.
I was like digging way deep into the back of my brain trying to remember school like 8 years ago. Like, oh man, how do we do this?
What school did you go to?
I went to Nimbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, we did a lot of that stuff because back then it was a lot more rock based.
Yeah.
They've really expanded their programs and everything they're doing. They're doing an incredible job. But back when I was there, it was like really rock heavy.
Okay.
And so a lot of our courses were focused around, you know, miking a drum kit with like 12 mics. You know, how to, you know,
my head will
get
explode.
a stereo pair of TLM 103s on an acoustic, you know, doing a DI and an amp bass and putting 2 mics on the amp and blending it afterwards. And
that's crazy.
Focus like, oh, don't forget to check your phase on your overheads and like, you know, way like, so fucking different than what I'm doing now, where it's like a sampled kick and it sounds dope. Like, that's my kick. That kick is punching me. Leave it alone. So
I never went to school for any of this.
That's impressive.
I wanted to, but I don't know why. I don't know what got into me. I was like, fuck it, let's just go at it.
Yeah. So when did you really like take that leap or make that decision that has led you to what you're doing now? Because obviously you're very good at what you do. You're successful and you've got like a steady clientele. So like what started that journey to get to you to get you to now? Like,
so I'm 27 years old now. And like I said, like I started like in grade 6, grade 7. So it's been like a journey, right? In elementary, I knew like I wanted to be a music producer. I had no fucking idea what it would entail, but I knew that then, right?
Cool.
Like I said it then, like I'm gonna be a music producer, right?
Yeah.
And high school came and it got tougher to do. And I was just like, my studio was still in my bedroom. Obviously, I'm just a fucking kid, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just got really hard to learn. And for a little while, I kind of just like even left it alone. And I don't know, just make beats here and there. And, you know, I wasn't really recording anyone then. It was mostly production. And then fast forward past high school, I started linking up with more artists. I was working with 2 artists in particular, like Shure and Side.
Okay.
You know, when Side was Seth K. Side lived like just down the street from me, so we'd link up every now and then.
Nice.
And Shure and me would link up like every weekend. And so it's because of those guys, like I really got to like get my practice in. And
hey, go ahead, slam that door. I was waiting for you guys to show up. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Go here, dog.
I know, all night.
I was like, I'm just not gonna go home.
I'm proud of you. Continue.
Yeah. So, that's when like my engineering career started, I guess.
Yep.
But I didn't take it too seriously, man. I was kind of just like recording demos and whatnot, because these guys were heavy on going to Jamie's studio at that time.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, we'll just record demos and whatnot, and you know, I'll make the beats and whatever. But fast forward even like years after that, just woke up one day, man. I was like, I had enough of this shit. Like, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired about all this. Like, you know, like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Like I'm crazy at making beats. I know I can become a better engineer. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And just woke up one day and I was like, okay, we're gonna get a studio. Fuck it, let's just go get a studio. This is like 2.5 years ago. And then I hit up a homie of mine and another homie. I was like, let's go. Let's go in on this. Let's make it happen. Craigslist some places. Got a spot in Burnaby. Just moved all my shit there. I didn't like at this point. I only had like 2 clients, right? And my engineering game wasn't even that great. Like honestly, it wasn't that great. Like I didn't think I was gonna start running a recording studio.
Right.
I just wanted a place to make beats and have people come in and like you know, take my beats with them and like, you know, like record to them and put them out, right? But people just started showing up, right? People started coming, and I got better and better at engineering and whatnot. And all of a sudden, like, you know, we have like, I don't know, like 20, 30 clients, and like they're coming in every day, like every week, and
Crazy.
Everything's just so blessed.
Yeah.
And then like the beats are flying off the shelf. I don't have any more beats to like email people. It's just like come in.
Yeah.
They're like almost like built to order now.
Wow.
And well, like I don't really have time now to just sit down and like make a beat on my own. Like there's always a session to get to or whatever, right? And but yeah, man, it's just like I just woke up one day and said, let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And with that, like, you know, we started like getting at it, found a spot, told people we're here now. They showed up, you know, made amazing music, made it happen. And then fast forward from that, like, you know, we're in Vancouver now with our second studio. And like we made the first recording studio, like a podcast studio. But
Okay.
yeah, man, it was just like 2.5 years ago, really. I just like, you know, like what are we doing here? Like, are we really gonna do this? Because if we are, we're not getting any fucking younger. Like, we gotta go now, right? And yeah, I couldn't even tell you like why I woke up that day or like what got into me. It's just that was my day that
It just
day.
happened.
Man. It just happened.
It was
man.
meant to happen, right? Because you've had the passion for so long, and then I think you just sometimes things just click, you know, and you just wake up one day and it's like, hey, this is starting to make sense now. Like, let me do this. And you took the leap. Like, that's a big risk, right?
Yeah.
But it's paying off, man. Because you're following what really matters.
Like as of last year in May, like I quit my 9 to 5, so I'm just doing this like full time.
Dude, that's incredible, man.
Yeah, and it was so nice to like. I was like, this is really happening, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Honestly, like that feeling I got when I quit my job was like I just got signed or something. Like
I'm still waiting for that feeling because I still work a day job, but like I'm so happy for you, dude. That's so inspiring.
One of my biggest things, like when I made that leap, I was like, I don't care if I get paid like half of what I was making before. Like doing what you love doing, like you can't put a price on that, man.
Oh my God, that's the mentality you should have, and that's exactly how I feel about this as well.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So it's just I was ready to just lose a lot of money, and I was like, fuck it, let's just go at it, man. But then like I don't know, like I felt like I just became on autopilot. Like the hustle was so crazy. Like, every day I'm just like the studio has to be booked. If it's not unacceptable, even if it's for free, I don't care. Someone has to be in there, right? So it's like, you know, let's link up with as many people as possible. You know, let's put out all this music, as much music as possible, even if it's not our own. Let's mix as many people. You know, let's not like. I don't want to hear any more excuses from Vancouver artists anymore. Like, oh, my song doesn't sound like this. Like, if it doesn't sound like that, send it over. We'll make sure it does.
Yes.
And then let's see what you do. Right? Like, because I feel like a lot of cats out here make excuses, man. Like, so, like, part of my whole game plan about, like, getting out there was also kind of, like, shimmer out the weak, you know? Like, let the strong survive. Let's really focus on our guys and, like, let's take them where they need to get to, right? That's how you put your city on the map. You know, so yeah, I was ready to become a major player, man. Just let the artists out here know, like, you know, if you need beats, I'm here. If you need mixing, I'm here, and don't stop because, you know, like music shouldn't stop because you can't afford the session or you know, like you couldn't afford a beat or whatever, right? If you got a crazy idea, let's make it happen. You know,
that's so great that you are like fostering that for people and being a mentor and a place where they can. An outlet for that, you know, like you're and you're actually living it. I know you are. You know, you're not just, these aren't just words coming out of your mouth. Like you're doing this 8 days a week, right?
Yeah.
And that is that's the dream for a lot of people that have a passion, just to be able to quit their job, do it full time, and know like through and through, like this is what I want to do. And when you and you found that you know, in your 20s, which is incredible.
Well, that's the thing, like I felt like my 20s is gonna run out pretty fast, so we need to get going, man. But like it was just other things too, man, that like really blessed me. Like my family is super supportive, you know. My fiance, like, she does not bug me at all. Like, we only see each other like once a week. You know, it's like every Fridays. That's it. She'll be at work all week. I'll be at the studio all week.
She gets it, though.
She gets it.
She gets it.
It wasn't always like that,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
she gets it.
Yes.
She gets it now, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, so like just stuff like that. Like how can I not like be where I'm at when things like that happen, right? Like my family is just like, you know, totally supporting me, like go, like, and like my fiance is just like go, like take all the time you need there, like I'm here, you know. So,
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful, and I know what that's like.
Yeah.
because I can totally echo those sentiments. You know, with how I've gotten to where I'm at is unbelievable dedication and hard work. But I didn't do this alone. I had parents that helped me pay for school, bought me this desk that I have all my shit on. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, you have a passion, you have a dream, like go do that. You don't need to be, you know, you don't need to go to a doctor or go to college and, you know, do the regular shit. Like, and my wife, same type of thing. Like, I don't get to see her very often.
Yeah.
I work stupid hours.
Yeah.
She works a night shift. She's a nurse, and it's like, so our paths cross at weird times, and we're like, we might eat breakfast together, and we might eat dinner together.
Yeah. Breakfast at like 4 p.m.
It's like, but she's
Dinner at 4 a.m.
she's the fucking best, man.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
she gets it. It's never like, oh, you're going to the studio again.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so happy for you. Look how much money you made in the last couple of months mixing. It's like, you know, this great. And it's like, fuck, I couldn't have a partner that wasn't like that. Like, I would be single.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just sleep on this couch if it wasn't that way.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah. It's so important, dude. Like, there was a time I was getting roasted, though.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when the bedroom was in the studio. You know, like,
wow.
you know, like,
That's funny.
oh, like, I'm gonna come over to this movie night. I was like, no, like, we gotta make this song. She's like, you guys aren't fucking doing shit in there. Like, you know, you guys are just drinking, partying, whatever. You guys aren't dropping music. I'm like, oh shit, she's right. Like, we gotta fucking step our game up, man. Like, it was like that for the longest time. Like, just like, you know, sitting around, listening to music, just like studio sessions turning into parties and
being
whatnot.
in the studio.
Yeah, being in the
but
studio.
not getting anything done, maybe.
yeah. So yeah, my wife did have a lot to do, or my fiance, sorry, had a lot to do with getting my shit together. Because
That's great.
Yeah, man. For a long time, it was just like, you know, yeah, I'm a producer, but like, how come nobody knows that?
Yeah.
Or if people tell me all the time that, like, you know, your beats are amazing, why aren't you buying them then? You know. So we kind of just
Do you feel like
stepped up my game.
she's been a big part of like getting you more, not professional, but like whipped into shape a little bit? I feel like that with my wife. Like, before she's helped me become like a hobbyist into like, no, take the shit to the next level.
Yeah, totally.
With like words of encouragement and support and just that femaleness.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but women have a way. They
Yeah.
have a way of making shit make sense, dude.
Well, I mean, just like, you know how you said, like, you barely get to see your other half. Like, you know, they hear the whole week summarized, right? Right? They hear the whole week just summarized. And, and my wife, like, fiance would just be like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
No. Tell them you, like, it's like this, right? Or
Totally.
like, you know, like, tell them to pay you that day, like, you know, shit like that. Like,
exactly.
Are you kidding me? You know, this is what you got to do, like, or you know, tell her to drop that song. It's sick. Like, you know, it doesn't need to get mixed anymore. Like, I love it.
Yeah. Just like the voice of reason.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit! Like, how can I didn't think of that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear that. Yeah, that you've got such a good support and let you just. It's not getting in the way.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
If
it's not
anything,
getting in the
you're
way.
just still getting to be who you are, and you're going full speed.
Full speed, yeah. And like, just the team I got around me too is just like phenomenal.
Oh,
man.
really?
Like, yeah. The Don't Doze brothers, Ricky and Roger, they're my business partners, and as well as Kyle Baldwin. You know, these guys just.
So they're helping financially with the space that you guys rent, or
yeah, financially with the space, and like they're just my support system, and just, man, like, we do everything together. You know.
awesome.
Yeah. So shout out to those guys. You know, they're really like they're a large reason of why this is all happening too. You know? So yeah, man.
Yeah,
Just
having
a team is a huge deal, dude.
I mean, I'm thinking about you know, Natasha, who was just here at the door, and Denton and the whole team that we have here too.
Yeah.
Like the amount of hours that goes into this shit.
Yeah.
The people power.
Yeah.
There's a team, man. There is a team around all of this, and
Yeah.
it's like nothing is done alone.
No.
Nothing is done alone.
No.
We see the end product, and we see the finished, the star, the artist, the studio, whatever. But it's like nobody did anything by themselves. It was all meetings and hard work and relationships and collaboration.
Collaboration, yeah.
Such an important word.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome, dude. Like the team, having the team around you, building, and I guess you guys are also like, sounds like you're also friends, like outside of work.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, we're like a family, man.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So tell me a little bit more about. You mentioned Priya before. She's going by Reve.
Yeah,
these days.
Reve. Yeah.
Because I had her on the podcast about a year ago.
Yeah.
And she was just like coming into her own and blossoming as like a new artist.
Yeah.
Because she had like a beginning, and then she'd kind of revolutionized. And she had a lot of really great things to say about you. And how you guys have really been mentoring her and helped her become what she is right now, like developing the sound. And so let's talk about that.
Yeah. So we found her thanks to you. Like the work you did like on her project was phenomenal, man.
Oh, cool.
Like as soon as we came across Solo, we must have played it 1,000 times at the studio. Like we were just like listening to that whole project just back and forth, and we made a game plan. Without her knowing. Like, we need to reach out to her and really just like help, because like we found out that she was doing everything on her own.
Yes.
And we're like, this, like, you know, this girl needs a team. And, like, she's obviously an amazing artist, and so let's do whatever we can to help her, right? So we reached out to her, you know, got some music happening and stuff, and then we kind of just solidified ourselves as a team and whatnot. But like, yeah, every session she's growing, man. Like no session has been the same.
Crazy.
Yeah. And like, before I leave, I'll pay you some stuff. But like, Blossom was a perfect word. Like, she's just like growing every single day, and the music is just becoming so amazing. And like, I just like, like, I just can't wait to show the world like what we've been working on, and you know, but yeah, that first project was just, it was just crazy, man. Like,
it really showed like what she can do,
dude. Yeah, yeah.
And I remember like one of the best sessions I've ever had, the best feelings I have ever had was after recording her.
Yeah.
And I just felt this like incredible, like I was inspired out of my fucking body.
Yeah.
And then I had it was either after that session or the next one where I had a chat with her and about like just being brutally honest about how talented she was and just being transparent. But saying like, are you really doing what you feel like you want to be doing, or like, do you like, where is your sound going type of thing?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, like she opened up about that and said that, and later thanked me for being like, for asking those questions, because it made her like really realize and evolve. But I could see it right in the very beginning, like there was like that gem in there, but it just needed to be like broken open and polished. And now you guys are doing that, like really just chipping away and polishing it. And the production, I you know, some of the new stuff, just, it's just there's her voice in it, but I also hear the Kultar around it and that washy plate reverb, and I'm just like, ooh, there it is. There she is, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like we saw that too, you know, like that, like you know, like this Priya here, but she can like really shoot for the stars.
Totally.
Right? And like that feeling that you said, yeah, like I experience that like every week. You know, we link up
Right.
like every Thursday night we link up.
Every Thursday night.
Yeah, every Thursday night we link
Yeah.
up and we rock it out. But yeah, she's so smart. Right? Like, obviously, like dealing with her, like she does everything with reason and stuff. Like
Yes, very calculated.
very calculated person, man. And it's just so nice to see her in the sessions because sometimes that like that goes away and like the music just totally takes over and she'll just start writing. She won't talk for like the longest time. Just right.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just like type in her phone
Yeah.
and then she'll turn on the mic and it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's a special one.
Yeah.
So, let's keep it up. We'll
Thank
see
you.
where she goes. We'll see where she goes because she could be really something.
Yeah.
So what else are you working on these days? What else is like keeping you up at night?
I work with a group called Trey 6.
Mm-hmm.
They keep me up at night because they never fucking go home. Every Wednesday night we link up and we have a session and
Okay.
yeah, man, those are my guys, man. Like these two East Indian kids from Surrey, and yeah, they're just like 20, in between like 20, 24 years old, and yeah, man, like they're just they're a funny duo, man. they're hilarious, but their music is so good, dude, and like they were kind of like it was like same deal with Priya. Like I saw them kind of from afar. They reached out to me, and like the music wasn't obviously where it was at right now, but I saw something. And I was just like, this could really go far. We got to do something with these guys, and linked up. And for like 6 months, we worked on music, and we just like made the best music they've ever made, and me as well. And we dropped like a little EP together called Disconnected, and I believe we dropped it in June or something like that, sometime in the summer. And these guys have grown so much since then as well.
Yeah.
The music we're making right now blows anything we've ever done out of the water. And yeah, right now, like that's one of my focuses aside from Priya. It's just getting these guys where they need to go. And Priya and like Trey 6 are kind of like our passion projects.
Yeah.
Right, like me,
Yeah.
Don't Those Brothers and Kyle, we all, and the homie Rico as well.
Okay.
He manages Trey 6. But yeah, just kind of linking up every week and just making the best music we can, and dropping that. And yeah, have you got a chance to listen to?
I have
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
but I'm going to after this podcast.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So
Check that out.
they're one of my main focuses
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
We just did a show on at Fortune on Friday. Shut it down. Just shut it
Good
down.
live as well.
Amazing live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like pulling up with the artists and like having like the auto-tune running live and stuff like that and shit like that. So yeah, man, they had a lot of fun being out on stage, and it's just an eye-opener for them because like, the weeks before we were just doing like these like little shit shows and around town and whatever, and so they got to finally bless the stage like that, and it was just eye-opening for them. But yeah, that's my main focus right now is just getting these guys where they need to go, and aside from that, just got my own stuff in the works as well. I want to drop a project with just like all the Vancouver, like on some DJ Khaled type shit.
Yeah.
That's like one song and like 5 guys, like like
like a single with
not just like a whole project,
but
like
with a bunch of
every
showcasing
song,
a bunch of
every
artists.
song would just have like 4 or 5 artists on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of stuff's keeping me up at night, but right now my main focus is Trey 6 and Priya.
Yeah.
Making sure everything's sounding the way it's supposed to.
Right. Yeah. Oh God. Don't get me started on that. Are you mastering a lot of your own mixes also, or sending them somewhere, or?
I am mastering a lot of my own stuff, but I feel like it's time to reach out to like a real true like mastering engineer and really see like what that entails.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of right now, I am mastering my own stuff, and I like it.
What are you using for your final limiter or your stereo spreader? Is it like a bundle or a couple of different things?
Yeah. So right now I mess with like Ozone, and I like the precision limiter from UAD.
Yeah.
And the precision equalizer as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll kind of use those together and get the song where it needs to go.
What loudness are you shooting for? Because I'm going usually for about -9.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so relieved you said that, because like I've been battling with myself for like the longest time, right? You've probably heard the talks of like Spotify and their mastering levels of being -14 and whatnot. I think it's complete bullshit. Like I cannot accept a -14 master. I don't know what it is. Like I have to be at -9.
-14's not mastered.
Yeah,
that's like a mix volume.
Yeah, it is, right? And like I've had masters that sound quiet, right? And I was like, why? Like I followed all the rules. Like I did what I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and like it's not sounding the way it's supposed to, right? And then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start cranking this shit. So yeah, -10, -9, like that's what I shoot for.
So sorry, before when you said you were not getting the loudness you wanted.
Well, sorry, it wasn't like that I was getting the loudness I wanted, but I thought there was like a target I was supposed to hit.
Okay.
Right, so of course I could always get to like -10, all that stuff and make it sound great. But I was under the impression that like Spotify is gonna trend this down like crazy.
They're gonna level match everything supposedly.
Yeah, and like I've had masters go out that are like, what, like how come this is lower than what I sent? Like it's gotten turned
so they've
down.
altered it afterwards.
Yeah, like it's gotten turned down, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I followed all the rules and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, like all the hats I've worn, like even as a producer, as a mix engineer, I've gotten there because like of the mistakes I've made.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like my original game plan wasn't to become an engineer. Right? It was just like make beats and kill it and sell a lot of them. Right?
Yeah. Sell a lot of them.
But like, I got good at that, like making beats and like getting them out.
Totally.
But then like I didn't hear the songs come out of them, so I was like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna have to engineer the shit too." Right? So I started engineering. Right?
Yeah.
Got good at that, and now I'm at the point where it's like they're not being sent out to go get mastered. So like I'll take that on too. Right?
Yeah, you kind of have to, and a lot of the artists' budgets won't allow for a $100 analog master at an actual mastering suite studio in Vancouver, because that's what a lot of these guys charge.
Yeah.
I'm same type of thing. If someone pays me to mix, the mastering's included in that.
Yeah. Me as well.
And I've actually been using Lander quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
I'm not afraid to say that on the mic. And I've turned Denton onto it as well. I know he's using that.
Yeah.
I don't just, it's not like Lander will make it sound better.
Yeah.
I'm literally just using it as like the final limiter, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
So, and every time I send it there, it's better than what I can do.
Okay, yeah.
I've still got like, bit of compression, using saturation more and more these days, because it's, to get that perceived loudness.
Yeah.
That thickness.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of, mid-side EQ.
Yeah.
And then I'll either use the Slate digital limiter, which is included in their everything bundle I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do that, and then sometimes they'll just take my limiter off, print my mix.
Yeah.
Because I'm using the Moog EQ on almost all my mixes, so it runs through that. So I have to actually print it back into Pro Tools. I can't bounce it.
Yeah. The Moog EQ, is that from Arturia?
No, it's from Moog. This blue one here.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's a mix bus mastering grade equalizer.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking like
sounds ridiculous, unbelievable sounding. So I've thrown it through that to get some color, and then either huck on the Slate Digital limiter or take that off and send it to Lander, man, and bounce it out. And then I've compared them, you know, and I bring back the Lander master into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
It's always peaking at minus 0.3. That's their algorithm.
Okay.
And they have 3 different like preset volumes. There's like medium or low, which is like jazz, medium, which is like commercial shit, and then there's a loud one.
Yeah.
Depending on how balanced your mix is, the loud doesn't always work because it's like minus 6. It's really loud and squished.
Yeah.
But the medium sounds great, man. It gets it to minus 9. Never clips, never peaks.
Yeah.
I can tell there's like a little bit of, you know, there's like some multi-band shit going on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It kind of like makes the low end bigger.
Yeah. Okay, good.
It's got like, their algorithm is really fucking smart.
Yeah.
So again, I am using that. But I'm not only using that. I'm still getting like the sound I want.
Yeah.
And then I'll use that. I'm literally as if it's just a plugin.
Yeah.
But you got to upload it to a website.
You got to upload it to a website, yeah.
So I have a subscription for that and I love it.
Nice.
That being said, when the budgets start getting a little bit bigger, and the artists that I'm working with, get grants or what have you, I would love to have a mastering engineer that I trust. And, because I know how much better they can make it sound.
Yeah.
I know they're, guys like Brock over at
CPS. Yeah.
With his
ATCs.
collection of ridiculous outboard EQs and compressors and his ATCs in that beautiful room. The room keyword, I would love to get my mixes sounding great and then send it to him. And then, that would be on the artist. Be like, yo, listen, this is your single, right? This is the one we're going to be playing all summer. Let's send it to Brock. Let's send it to Jamie. Let's send it to somebody with a really nice room. And all the analog shit too, man. That like it's just you're paying for that. So that's the next step. I would love to just be the mixing guy. And not being wearing so many hats. Just because I know someone else can wear it better.
Exactly.
Do it better.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Like, I basically do not make beats anymore. At all.
Yeah.
I got into this whole game as a rapper. I used to rap and record and do tons of shows. And where I lived in Victoria, I was rocking the mic on stage everywhere, dude. And then when I went to school, I fell in love with mixing.
Wow.
And engineering. And now I am basically not. I have a computer full of beats, but they're 11 years old.
Send them up.
Now I'm
see
just
what we could do with those.
Well, maybe. But I'm really trying to become like a specialist.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
To not wear so many hats and just be known as the mixing guy.
Yeah.
If you want it, this is recorded. Who are we going to send it to? Let's send it to Max. That's all he does.
That's all he does.
I'm fucking obsessed. And then we got to get it mastered. That's another thing. Like we were talking about at the beginning of this conversation with
Eminem
and G-Unit back in the day where everything sounded so analog and beautiful because there was all the steps and they weren't breaking any of the rules. They were following the protocol.
So many fresh ears got introduced to each stage, right? So it's like,
absolutely
this is what's up with this. Like, oh shit, I didn't even hear that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. A fresh perspective and someone who can just make it that much better. So that's where I'm at with mastering. It's a strange art. I guess it is.
I kind of envy those guys though, right?
Yeah.
To get to like, all right, it's ready. Just, like touch a few knobs. I mean, like, don't get me, I'm not trying to downplay what they do, but it's just like, holy shit. Like, I wish like if I touched a knob, it would have that big enough of impact, right? Like, it's just crazy.
I've heard like interviews with, world-class mastering engineers and they're saying things like talking about how the energy of how the speaker moves. Like they're going down to like the finest little details, like a fifth of a dB, like a little bit here and there, but they're like the nuances are just unbelievable, and they have, you know, it's a whole nother level of like ear training, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're cut from a different cloth.
Yeah,
guys.
it's, you know, it's like being a doctor and then deciding you want to be a eye specialist or something. It's like you didn't start out, or like a foot specialist, or like a, you know, they all start out as doctors and then they discover like, oh, I want to go down this path and just specialize in this. And that's like every mastering engineer was like a piano player in the beginning, or a guitar player, or in a band that failed. You know, they didn't start out as a mastering engineer. But at the end of the day, they've got like ridiculous years of experience, and that's why we pick them. That's why we go to them. Cool, man. Well, we should wrap this up. I don't even know how long we've been going here. What time is it? We've been doing an hour and a half already. Almost an hour and 40 minutes. Jesus.
We gotta do a part 2 soon or something.
Oh yeah,
this is fun.
This has been really fun. This has just flown by, completely flown by. Let's let people know where they can find you and your work and artists you've been mentoring. It's Kultar Got Bounce on Instagram.
Yeah. And for email, same thing, at Gmail, Kultar Got Bounce at Gmail. So that's KULTAR Got Bounce at Gmail.
Okay.
Twitter is the same. It's all Kultar Got Bounce. Yeah. So I'm pretty easy to find and get a hold of. I always answer back, man.
Great.
Love talking to people, and especially about this kind of stuff. And as for artists that that you should be looking out for, Trey Six, Reve, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
That's PHVIL.
Okay.
Amazing artist. Sorry. And Kuv Life. You know, these are the guys that I do a lot of work with. Obviously, you guys know Jamon.
Yes.
Boslin, those guys, you know, killing it right now. But yeah, so hit me up, man. You know, I want to talk to you guys. And obviously, if you need mixing and production, I'm the guy to talk to as well.
100%. Now, if people want to go and like, do you have a portfolio, like a SoundCloud with examples of finished products, or a page, or a website, or?
You know what? I've been thinking about doing like a playlist on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like I'm there now. Like, I think I got a nice like catalog happening on Spotify. So maybe I'm gonna do that when I get back to the studio.
Okay.
So yeah, and like tonight or whenever you guys are hearing this, you'll be able to, you know, see like a playlist of mine. And
by the time this comes out, please share that with me, and then we can include it on the show.
That would be amazing.
When we promote the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, my socials are easy. It's fine. Kultar Got Bounce. Hit me up.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Well, this has been a huge pleasure for me.
Likewise.
Getting to hear your story, so freaking inspirational.
Thank you, man.
Like, exactly why I started doing this podcast was to talk to people like you with that kind of a attitude and a passion towards what you're doing. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you.
Keep killing it, dude.
Thank you. Likewise, man.
Thank you.
You're killing this shit too. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Kultar Got Bounce, Max Deshaw. This is Demo to Limo. We'll see you next week. Peace.